Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Ghost and the Goat podcast. I am your host, the Goat Bams. And with me today, as always, is my co conspirator and my partner in crime, the Ghost Buddy. Buddy, what's going on?
Oh, good evening, BMs. Am I coming through too loud? Is this good? Am I too much? This is too much, buddy?
You're coming through good, buddy.
I'm good. All right, good. It's
No,
always
you're
good.
coming through real good right now.
Streaming this evening. Hopefully the stream flows this evening. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is not messed up. Hopefully buddy takes one for the team and beats technology this evening. But I'm doing good right now. I'm on. You can hear me, you can see me. Things are kind of going good today. It was a beautiful day here in sunny Rhode Island. The mountains out
It
back. I
was.
was out there by the lake with the dog. We were running, chasing
I
up some
saw that.
game and stuff. Yeah, it was a good day, dude. All in all,
I
can't
did see
complain.
that you took the dog for a walk. It looked like a nice walk.
It's quite
You know what
lovely.
else happened today? Aaron Nola
What else?
pitched a complete game shutout, and the
Who-
Philadelphia Phillies
oh,
are the first team in the major leagues to get 30 wins.
yeah, they're doing. They're pretty.
Best
They're
team in
playing pretty well down there in Philly, dude. I've picked them in
best
my
team in baseball.
parlays the last few times, and they despite Boston always letting me down in one way or another, be it basketball, hockey, or baseball, the Phillies always seem to win as of late. So
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
on a
they're
roll, dude.
they're on fire,
It
dude. Good
feels
for
like,
you.
it feels like in every 10 game stretch, they're like 8 for 10. And
Oh,
it's always good to beat the Mets because I hate the freaking Mets.
yeah.
Any New York team, really, I can't stand, dude. Just
Oh, yeah.
their fans are obnoxious. Their teams
Complete
suck, and they
jerks.
like, ugh.
Complete jerks.
And it
I mean,
just
there are
and
far and few between good Yankee fans, but not too many, man. Far, far, far
man,
and few
I'll
between.
respect a Yankees fan before I respect a Mets fan.
That's
You know
true
what I
because
mean?
they like they're just a class. I mean, they are a class act kind of a team. They just like they give me diarrhea as a Red Sox fan. So
Yeah, I
uh,
don't like them. I'm never
no,
gonna root for them.
no,
But
oh God, no.
when I was a kid, I was a Yankees fan. I was a big
Oh,
I was a big Jeter guy.
well,
You know
Jeter's
what
a
I
good
mean?
ball player. I mean, I could
That
say,
was
he's a good ball player. I didn't like A
that was
Rod,
my
but I thought Jeter was good.
that was my favorite ball player growing up was Jeter. He played the game the right way.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's good.
He hustled. But then when I don't even know, dude. Before high school, I my mother married this other dude, and
He was a Mets fan. I think you told
he
me
was
this,
a
and that's
yeah,
how
he
you
was a
became a
Mets fan.
Phillies fan.
Yeah, he was
That's
a
good,
Mets fan.
dude.
And I did it out of spite, and it just stuck.
They're
I
a good
can't get
team to
rid of it.
follow, right? You guys won a series or two along the way, right? In your lifetime.
They've won one in my lifetime. We lost in '92. I was too young to remember. That was the Joe Carter home run. If anybody
Oh
remembers
yeah,
that
yeah, right.
whole, yeah, that was us. And then in 2008, I believe we lost, and then in 2009 was our last World Series. Oh, 2008 we won. I'm sorry. In 2009 we lost. But we've had a good team the last few years. Just haven't been able to finish the job.
Yeah,
And
right.
I'm hoping that this year breaks the cycle because they have such a monstrous lineup. It's just if the pitching holds up.
That's usually the case, though. That's usually the
Yeah,
case,
it's
unfortunately.
awful. But off to a
Um,
good start. First team to 30 wins. You can't complain about that as a baseball fan. I don't watch every game, but I do catch them when I can. Obviously, I try to catch as many Phillies games as I possibly can. But it's
of course,
162 is
baseball is
just
great because it's
awesome.
it's always on. It's on almost every day of the year of the summer. It's such a classic game. I understand people are bored by it, but I'm not. I love the pitching duel. I love the 0-0 throughout the eighth inning. I love that. I love the
Simple-minded
put
people
the
are
steel
bored by
on, put the
baseball.
signs on, and just the sight behind it. I love the game of baseball. It's completely
Yeah,
classic.
simple-minded people are bored by baseball.
Well, yeah, because it's boring,
Because
man.
everybody wants that instant gratification. Baseball is 80% mental. It
Oh,
just
for sure, for
and
sure.
it's such a beautiful game, dude. Like, does it drag on? Yeah, there's times like
Mm.
maybe the early 2000s where the Red Sox and Yankees were doing those 4.5, 5 hour marathon
Oh
games
my god, those are tough, but
when they were just taking pitches.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
the Red Sox had Euclid and Bill Miller and all these dudes that just would take and take and take, and it was good. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Good
yeah,
strategy, but
for
then the
sure.
Yankees would just take and take, and it would just end up in a
Oh,
marathon of a game, dude. It was
endless and
brutal.
fights and it's great. The fights are great, but anyway,
Oh yeah, dude. I think that might have been the height of the. I think when you think Red Sox Yankees, you think like the '70s and probably the early 2000s.
Well, yeah, I don't think the 70s because I wasn't born yet. But for
No, but
me,
I'm saying traditionally.
growing up in the 1980s as a Sox fan and watching them lose watch my
Yeah.
grandpa cry year after year and curse the Yankees. And then in 2003, that ALCS, that was a heartbreaker. I remember like seeing Boone hit
Aaron
the
Boone,
home
right?
run. That
Yeah.
cocksucker. Yeah, I remember. I can't. Oh my god, that was such a.
What I never understood was why they threw Tim Wakefield in that.
Oh
I
yeah,
never
I know
got
he
that.
throws
Never
meatballs. I mean,
understood
he was
that.
he was brilliant with the knuckleball, but it's not always.
Wakefield, yeah, Wakefield to me as an outsider looking in was you were gonna get one and I feel like this with every knuckleballer, even like the great ones, because he was one of the greatest. You know
Yeah,
what I
of
mean? Let's
course.
call a spade a spade. He was one of the greatest knuckleballs to ever do it.
He came
Uh,
through when we needed him.
but
But
it's either that thing was dancing or it was a meatball. There was no in between, and it
right.
was he didn't have any other pitch. Like if the knuckleball wasn't working, that 78-mile-an-hour fastball is not scaring anybody.
No, not at all.
You know,
Not
but
really.
I mean, what in our generation we've had him, R.A. Dickey.
Oh,
There's been a
Dickey. I
couple other
forgot about
guys,
Dickey.
but
Yeah.
those two were the best. I mean, Dickey won
Yeah,
a Cy Young.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? He won a Cy Young with the Blue Jays. He was pitching like an 80-something mile an hour knuckleball. He was unbelievable, that dude. He was just great. No Tommy
Yeah.
John. He had no ligament to have a Tommy John, they said, in his elbow. There was no ligament here.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It
Hmm.
was crazy, dude. I read that and I was like, how's that even possible? Like,
Weird.
but I guess, yeah, it was like I don't know if he had surgery when he was younger or whatever it was, and he just never had it. And so teams got scared off, but the Blue Jays held on to him and they got a stud.
They got something out of them. Speaking of weird,
Yeah.
we have a guest tonight brings with them what someone like yourself might consider as weird. Someone might like myself might consider, wow, dude, that's pretty awesome. I see him. He's been in the green room for about like 3 minutes now. He's been moving. He's waving his hand. I hope we can hear him. I'm gonna bring him out. He's a paranormal investigator.
What's his name, buddy?
Is from the SOS Paranormal of Connecticut. Longtime paranormal investigator, great guy. Rick Callahan. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Hey, good
How you
evening, Rick.
doing?
Oh, there we go. There we go. We can hear
Good to
you.
see you. Good to have you. Welcome aboard. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Very good.
Little technical issue.
Yeah, dude, you don't have to tell me. I
Listen,
suffer against the tech world,
we-
man. I am not right at all.
We have a weekly segment called Buddy versus Technology, and it's at some point in this podcast you'll see it, and technology will take over and beat Buddy. And Buddy, I think, has one win.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
it's like
Funny,
technology, like 17-1.
Yeah, maybe.
I work in IT, so I tested everything using Google Meet, including the webcam and my microphone. So I'm not sure where things went wrong.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
plugging your
around you,
device to get all the way out and go back in is what fixed it.
True.
It
true.
happens. It's technology. It comes and goes. It's finicky.
Yep.
I mean, there's upsides and there's downsides to having an internet show. The upside is that we can pretty much have any guest at any time, anywhere, which is terrific, and we get to talk to a lot of amazing people with this show. I think we've done a good job of that. Buddy does a great job booking the show for us with all of his connects inside the paranormal world. And then the downside is obviously when technology doesn't want to work, it doesn't work.
Right.
We had an issue last week as well, so it is what it is. It happens.
It's never fun. And let me just for viewers last week. Anybody who saw the show last week? We had a medium on, and she seemed a little bit vague at certain points with certain people. But some of the things that she said, while they didn't make sense that day in the moment, 3 or 4 days later, it's like, I remember when she said this. And then it totally they're not always talking about something that has happened. Maybe they're talking about something that's going to happen. And she just wasn't seeing it that way. But I had that little premonition myself in the last few days, like, that's kind of cool that you said that, but I'm not cool because it's an awful situation for somebody. But
we'll work her back in.
We'll work her back in. We'll get her back on. She was a good time. So, Rick, Brendan, why don't you start because you're the non-paranormal guy. We got tons of evidence to show, but I'm sure you have questions to.
So, Rick, how long have you been investigating for? I know it's been a while
about
from what Buddy was
11
saying.
years.
Yep.
And
What got you into it?
Ghost Adventures.
The show.
I'm not trying to give them a plug. That just happened to be how I was introduced to it.
Right.
Sure.
I didn't realize that there was gear available for people who don't have built-in abilities like a psychic or a medium. So I never really looked into it. But following that show, I went out and bought a K2 meter, and
K2.
that's when it started.
So now, what exactly is a K2 meter? Buddy's holding one up right now.
Yeah, it reads EMF, electromagnetic fields. Now you got to get pretty close to it. It doesn't emit like a field around it like some other devices do.
Okay.
If you were, I'm pretty sure that electricians used to use a similar device to look for circuits, electrical circuits in the walls.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the idea came from, because if I know that I put that up to electric motors and it's pegged.
Mm-hmm. Or like fuse boxes, a microwave, whether it's on or not, like an alarm clock, huge, like this computer, this mic, this camera right now, huge. But like Rick is talking about, Babs, you can't really see it now because it's going off like crazy because of all the electronics. When you sit in an investigation and sit at one light, and they could sit at that one light in that one area for hours, and then you ask a question, and it starts doing this, and then it does nothing again. And then you ask for a response, and then it will start doing that. So that's what's kind of cool about the K2. I've always said that I found recently that if you shop around, I got this K2 here at one of the ghost stores online and paid like almost $80. I bought this at Walmart and paid not even $20. Shop around, kids, said the same thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. So
even Temu has them.
Right.
Oh,
right.
I'm afraid to order off it. I'm afraid to order off of Temu. I've seen some of the stuff that comes out of it.
It's not the same what you're looking at. My girlfriend got a dog bed. It looked all plush. It looked all big for a Doberman, and it was like a pad that I would put under my ass on a chair. Yeah, it's not a.
You get what you pay for, pretty much. Right. It's all a discount, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I've seen I've seen tools like that in the field that I work. I'm in construction, so we use that for like fuses and all sorts of stuff like that. So I've seen something like that. I didn't know it was used for paranormal though. So you use the K2 meter. Is there any other tools that you favor, or is that like your favorite one?
Well, if I want absolute proof, I mean undisputed proof, I use a flashlight and a cat ball.
Right.
Those cannot be affected by electromagnetic fields, someone's motor running. It doesn't get affected by cell phones. I've had issues with people not wanting to turn their phone into airplane mode. Yeah. So when their phone is looking to the cell tower for a signal, it can trigger some of my other gear. So you get false positives.
Oh, okay.
Whereas with a flashlight, it's the mini mag that you twist on, twist off.
I wish I had one.
And there is some preparation that most of these shows they don't talk about. You twist it until the light comes on, and then you gradually twist it in the opposite direction as if you're going to turn it off. And you do it very gradually so that the space between the base of the bulb and the battery is very, very, very minute. It's believed, I don't believe the spirits are actually twisting the tube, because I've looked at it pretty close. And when it lights up, I don't see any movement at all. But I believe that their energy, that static charge that they can give off, fills that gap, that very minute hair width gap. And with the cat ball, well, some people will say, oh, well, somebody must have been walking across the floor and it slightly rolled, because that's how it works. A cat bats it and it lights up.
Right.
I put mine on a disc with a hole in the center so it can't roll, and it will light up still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually, on my regular website, I show how to, not how to make it, but how I've made one. And
now, what exactly is your website? Let's get you a little plug in here while we're rolling.
Oh, yeah,
it's sos-paranormalct.org.
Right there, right? That's what it is.
But on
it's
YouTube,
right at the bottom, everybody.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, and because I got to pay to host it, on that one, I've gone to YouTube. I pay my $12.95 a month, and they haven't stopped me from uploading videos.
Right. So as we're talking about the cat ball and the flashlight, one of your first videos I have here, Rick, is from Wilson Castle. I'll play that. It's a 2-minute video. It gives kind of an illustration of what he's talking about with the
Perfect.
cat ball and the flashlight. Here we go.
Oh, flashlight, thank you. So you figured that one out. Thank you. Could you turn it on again, please? Just touch the end of it, like you did. Please. Don't forget we have the cat toy next to it. So if you just tap that, it'll do that for us. There we go. He's turning on the flashlight for us. Oh. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. You got the hang of it. Could you make it go? I was going to say, could you make it go dim? And you just did. You read my mind. Could you make it go bright now? Just get closer to it. Or if you move away from it, you can turn it off. Oh, cat toy, thank you. Now I've placed that onto I drilled out like a little concave hole so that it won't roll. So they're definitely touching it. Some cases, if you just set it on a flat surface and it rolls, it's not a true reading.
So where was this?
That was at Wilson Castle, which I believe is in New York.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Nice. Now, what other tools did you have on that table? Because I noticed there was a few more.
There was probably a little fingered thing with different colored. Well, it would be different color lights, like periscope. That works off static. But
Okay.
even having it on the what do you call that? On top of the table there. The
Tablecloth.
what's the word I'm looking for?
Tablecloth.
Tablecloth.
Yeah.
That if it's like in the wintertime and it's very dry, just shuffling across the floor and even touching that tablecloth might activate it. So, and that's what you gotta try to debunk. You gotta try to not allow that to happen.
Yep.
I don't remember what the other devices are, but those weren't only my devices. People had devices all over the table.
Okay, yeah, because I noticed there was a bunch there. Now, what do you do? Just ask simple questions and try to get a response through the cat toy or the flashlight? And
it's tougher if you go somewhere where there's never been an investigation because you have to demonstrate to the spirits how things work. So I had actually, you didn't see the cat ball for a moment there. As I was reaching for it, demonstrating it has to be touched or tapped in order for it to light up. And then I pulled the camera back and it was already lit. And then I wanted to wait until to see if the spirit would do it on its own. And it did. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes, I mean, I drove 15 hours out to a location I won't name in Ohio. Nothing happened.
No, it's because it's Ohio.
I was there from 8 o'clock until 3:30 in the morning. Absolutely nothing happened. Got back in my van and drove home.
Oh, that's a bummer, dude. After going that kind of distance, that kind of waste, and I'm sure you're paying some kind of money to do the investigation itself.
Yeah, it was the gas and my time that really cost the most. It was a very reasonable charge for the location, but that person was interviewed on YouTube and admitted that the owner admitted that he had never experienced anything there, but other people have. So I don't want to name names, but if I was involved,
that in itself makes for a good haunt, I would think, because it's something that, as an investigator, I've investigated places multiple times where sometimes it's active and sometimes it's not. So I mean, that makes
true. That's absolutely true.
That could there's been one night I investigated it on a Monday and it was dead, no pun intended. And then we investigated again on that Saturday and it was lots of EVPs. Somebody got touched. Somebody saw a shadow hand, like in the basement, like a hand right before they got touched.
Right.
All sorts of stuff happens. So I mean, it
can be hit or miss. It's kind of like fishing.
Right. Exactly. It's exactly like fishing. Exactly. You just got to know what ponds to go to. I guess that's the best way to look and how to look, and it's exactly like fishing. That's a good, good analogy for
that
sure.
That is a really good analogy.
Well, as speaking of that, so as an investigator, what do you, when you go into any location, do you know any of the history going in? Do you focus on any of the people who might be there? Do you know any? Do you go in with any historical background? What do you, or just go in and,
the majority of the investigations are being hosted by someone who does offer a lecture and the history of the location. For me to go, I've done a couple of homes. One when I belonged to another ghost club, and nothing happened. And yet on another one where I had personally met these people, they had asked me back to their home, and it was haunted.
Yeah.
So, it like I said, it's hit or miss. I prefer to go to places, especially if I'm going to drive 15 hours, that have a reputation for it being haunted.
And you're going to go to Ohio on top of it. And if you have Bams, Ohio is not a great place to go.
Ohio's the worst state in the union. Nothing good comes from it. You know what the best thing that comes out of Ohio is, Rick?
What?
The flight to Boston. That's it.
That's rough. So one of our guests in the chat room, Shane, said abandoned asylums and hospitals and state schools and sanitariums are the scariest places to investigate. I myself worked in an asylum, worked in a few of them.
Me as well.
There were things that happened at some of them. There were nothing that happened at other one. I investigated the former live school legally before it was torn down. Probably one of the most interesting places I've ever been in. Most interesting EVPs. Clearest. But some places there's nothing. Do you find that asylums or places that have a horrific history, like asylums or like battlefields, or do you find that the activity is greater in those places than it is in like your common residential case?
The one in Ohio was about the only one I've really been to, as far as an asylum. Yeah. So, I mean, I have one locally that used to be the Mansfield Training School, and they got a 10-foot fence up around there. You can't get in there. I mean, you can, but I don't want to get nailed. I don't want to get arrested.
No, exactly. This place is like Dudleytown that's renowned for allegedly, but you can't. You're not supposed to.
Oh no, no, that's definitely off limits. But there is somebody that's hosting a Dudley Cemetery walk in July. But July, mosquitoes, heat. I don't get along with those two things, and it would be strictly outdoors. So I decided to pass.
Yeah, understandable.
But I would imagine, well, if you watch it on YouTube, any of those shows like Waverly Hills, there's a lot of places that they go to that were former institutions. There's a lot of suffering there. Pennhurst, a lot of suffering there. I mean, someday I'd like to think I can get out that way, but no more 15-hour drives.
Right. Oh, I hate it, dude. I hate it. Gettysburg, I got I actually signed up last year, got myself a room for the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. Honestly, I've been to Gettysburg about a dozen times in my life. It's always been all about the history. I've been an investigator for many years. I've never even delved. the closest I did, I can't say that I did do like kind of do an EVP session in the peach orchard. I sang Dixie and hoped for a response because it was a vicious where a lot of Confederates and Union soldiers died, but in a very short amount of time. Didn't get any response, but I mean that's the only. I've never done anything paranormal at Gettysburg, so I'm going with my girlfriend, and I'm gonna show her the sites, obviously, and that's all I really want to see at Gettysburg. I guess we might do a ghost thing or two
if you get something with the ghost, it's a bonus. So
right, exactly,
you're going to benefit by going for your own reasons, and if you run into it, that's double for your money.
True.
Right. The big takeaway that we can come to is that nobody should ever go to Ohio.
Stay away from Ohio.
Danvers. Yeah, I don't even know. Does that still exist?
Yeah. I don't. Is it? Yeah, is it still there, man? You're up in Mass, right?
Yeah, Danvers still exists.
Danvers.
The majority of my ghost hunts that I've attended have been in Massachusetts.
Yeah, there's a lot of them up there.
USS Salem.
Lizzie yep.
Salem. Yeah, Lizzie Borden. The Oliver House. Winchington.
Lizzie Borden, my hometown. Now, did you do the house itself or
at Lizzie Borden?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a big group there. Other people were getting things. I know that when I walked down into the basement, I instantly had a feeling of being seasick. And I don't feel anything at any of these places. I don't have to worry about that. But it was all I could do to get back to the stairs and get back out of there. And I did go later with the group, and I didn't get that feeling. A group of us went down and nothing happened. Yep.
Well, that's interesting. Now, is there a specific investigation that you've done that sticks out more than others, that you had maybe more activity, or maybe it was just maybe darker than any other activity that you've gotten? What was that?
The Payne House Museum in Coventry, Rhode Island. Awesome. Yeah, I was there with Cody DeBaines, who's he's with Satori now, Satori Hawes.
Paranormal couple. Yep.
Yeah, that it was a small group. There was only there was only 3 paying customers. They would take up to 10. Only 3 of us showed. And they had a guy watching the lower door, and it was Cody and his girlfriend at the time.
Yep.
And it was nuts. I mean, they had the dogs with the EMF detection inside with the lights all over the dogs, the stuffed dogs. And I was running up and down the stairs trying to keep up with filming it. And we heard knocks on command, because it's rumored that a little girl died there. It used to be a doctor's home, and something went wrong. And so I didn't know any of this information. And I asked how old she was when she passed. And we all distinctly heard 6 knocks. And Cody believed that she was between the ages of 5 and 8. So it was somewhere in that range. I would say the only thing that didn't happen there was an apparition. Because it was tripping all the equipment, the knocking, on command.
Let me ask you something, Rick, really quick. This has been kind of like a hot topic, and especially local paranormal news, local paranormal comings and goings. You could say in the last year or so here in the New England area, especially when it involves Cody. So, Bams, you're not really probably aware of the story. Cody he's a younger guy. I've known this guy for a number of years. He investigated with a couple of local paranormal teams. Great guy.
Yep.
Tori Hawes, she's the daughter of Jason Hawes, one of the bald guy on Ghost Hunters, right? The big guy. It was, right. So they're together, and allegedly there's this knocking that takes place when they investigate together. Their energy causes a knocking. People made a documentary or a podcast saying that he was snapping his toes. He was like cracking his toes and causing the knocking, which is completely fraudulent. It's awful.
It would be, but you're always going to have those people out there that want to debunk everything. because
Of
they just
course.
plain don't believe in spirits. They just don't.
Right.
So
Right.
if they think they have an opportunity to discredit somebody, they're going to discredit somebody.
Of course.
But I trust Cody. Just
Yep.
I mean, I've worked with him 3 times at that location and then at a library. And I have no reason to believe that they're trying to pull one over on anybody. I don't know
Right.
Satori at all, but I mean, look at her dad. I mean, ghost hunters, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I watched one show where their fans had asked if they would do it with their shoes and socks removed.
Right. To prove that they
Oh,
want them. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot to ask of somebody.
Right.
You
Now,
wouldn't
Rick,
want to. You wouldn't want to look at my feet. If I was able to do something with my feet, I
Oh
wouldn't
God,
want to take
no.
my socks off
I'd be
either.
horrified to
I
remove
got
my
the
Crocs.
worst. I got the biggest bunion. It's
Mhm.
awful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I'd be
terrible,
very,
dude.
very leery to do that.
Yeah.
So, Rick, how do you handle that? Like, how do you decipher what's paranormal activity and what's not? Because I know that's a big thing that Buddy and I talk about with all of our guests. It's, you get these readings, and then it seems to me I'm just an outsider looking in. I've never been on an investigation. I'm just intrigued by everything. I'm not again. I do believe that there's spirits out there. I'm a little bit of a skeptic. I'm not like one of those people that just automatically assumes the worst of everything.
Mhm.
Right.
But from what I gather, is that investigators tend to dive into it and not believe everything that they hear, obviously, because then that would just lead to us all sorts of problems. But
Right.
what's your process for deciphering what's like an actual spirit and what's not?
Again, especially when you're with a group of people, it comes down to using devices that can't be manipulated by somebody who has refused to turn off their or
Yeah.
put their cell phone into airplane mode because they're texting mom or they're texting dad or their brother or somebody about the experience. And that's all it takes for them to screw up your evidence. And I
Right.
want absolute evidence. And the
Right.
closest I can come to that right now is the
Mhm.
flashlight
Mhm.
and the cat ball. I've spent at least $1,000 on lots of the other gear.
Wow.
I don't want to knock some of the gear, but I don't really trust the ones that blurt out words, people's names. I mean,
Mhm.
we don't know how those things are programmed. I mean, are they
True.
That's fair.
are they picking out words or in your conversation that you're having?
Right. Exactly. And there was an app on the phone that I downloaded, right? Just for shits and giggles. We were on an investigation. I'm like, let's try it. Every word that came out, it was like murder, death,
Common.
blood. It was just all like, all right, where are you trying to push this? This is not.
Right.
Right.
I don't think
Right.
So I think it was just. I think and they say it for your entertainment purposes, and some of it's pure 100% entertainment.
Yeah,
But
I think I would have a really tough time trying to believe an app on a phone.
yeah,
Because obviously, how are they going to make money if they're not getting readings, and they're going to try
I
to get the
can't
worst
swallow half
readings
of
out of
that.
everything?
I can't swallow half of that. But more stuff to swallow. We got another cat motion activated toy here. A video. It's a 2-minute video. I'm gonna play it really quick.
Perfect.
Here we go.
Okay. Oh. Is that you? If you touch the cat ball again, please. Light it up. Thank you. You hear that? Up there. I brought out the torches, the long tubes there. If you touch the end of those will light up as well. Could you do that for us? Just like you're touching the ball. They should light up similar.
How about the cat ball again? Did you leave? You get bored? Please touch the cat toy, the round ball again. Or touch the metal wand. Could be, if it's random, it could be a residual thing just moving around. Thank you. All right. As soon as I insulted you to say you were just residual.
Now that's an example. There's an example right there.
Right.
Normally, they consider intelligent spirits ones that react right away. You've already demonstrated how something works, and if they're truly in communication with you, they're gonna activate the devices. Now that there could be an example of a residual haunting. There's just energy floating around there. Now, we don't know for sure.
Time-based, or is it like residual more maybe time-based, or is it like
it's repeating history of something that may have happened there.
right?
But
like somebody getting up, walking to the John every morning.
yeah,
That repeated activity will be
right. If they came close enough or tapped into the table or whatever. But now you see they didn't do the light flashlights. I call them torches too. Flashlight at all. So as far as being an intelligent haunting there, I'd say that would be iffy.
Yeah. The child spirit one you have here, is that, Rick, is that an intelligent haunt? You think? You know what I'm talking about?
I'd have to look at my list here of what I sent.
Is this a child spirit trying to kick? That's what I have.
Oh, that's the private home.
All right.
That's an SLS camera that I built. You know, I saw how to build it on the internet, and my assistant and I went there. And the story behind it is that the lady of the house, she works from home, and she could swear out of the corner of her eye she sees movement in the hallway, looking out her door, and it running back and forth. There's been other issues that she shared with us during the night and afterwards, and she told us up front, oh
no,
we back.
Rick, we're losing your bud. Oh, yep. Oh, say something.
I think we hiccuped.
Oh, no. Yeah, you hiccuped.
Hello.
Oh. Hello.
We can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Oh,
yep, you're good.
Good. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So she said that she believed that the child hangs out up on the second floor. So I had a ball with me, and I put the ball up at the top of the stairs, and I stood down at the bottom of the stairs. And now I didn't have the SLS working where I could record what it was showing. So she was the homeowner was actually using her cell phone to capture it. So that's what you're going to see, and I'll explain afterwards.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, it looks like he's moved back.
Yeah, he moved back. Yeah, I see your
It looks
foot
like
right
he
above.
looks like he's trying to kick it.
Yeah.
Come on,
Could you
kick the
go
ball.
ahead, kick it.
He's got his foot back like he's trying.
Go ahead.
Right on it. You can do it.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, give it a big kick. You can do it. All right, so what I'm filming here is a spirit of a child, a little boy possibly, and that's a ball that's in the center of the stairs that I left there. And it looks like he's trying to kick it.
Has not budged.
But he had his
He
foot, the
he
foot
literally
behind
was.
the ball.
It was like he had it in between, and he was trying to figure out how to do
Look
it.
at it.
Come on, kick the ball.
That's SLS technology, is it not, Rick?
Yes. Yep.
Now, where was this, Rick?
That was in a private home. I can't. It was actually in my hometown, but I have
Okay,
to
all right.
I have to keep
No,
it
that's
private.
Yeah.
But no, I was over there doing some work in their yard, and they happened to see the advertisement on the back of my van, the SOS sticker, and
Nice.
and of course the wife's eyes lit up, and the husband didn't want to know. Matter of fact, he took the family dog and left while we were there doing the investigation. He didn't want to know anything about it.
Nice.
So we did capture other things, but she was trying to capture it on her phone, and there was a miscommunication. There was even better things that had occurred there. A stick figure had appeared in the master bedroom on the bed. It was kind of like sprawled out on the bed, and my assistant Cheyenne was at the foot of the bed, and all of a sudden this thing got up and just went through her, just went right at her. And I know that the owner had captured it, but I never got the footage.
Wow.
Wow. That's
cool. Yeah, that's cool. SLS is I've seen it work where there's nothing there, and I've seen it work where there was question.
It's questionable. If there's anything, if there's something that looks like a human form, it may try to map a human form.
Indeed,
But there was nothing
that.
there. There was nothing. That was at the top of the hallway. Only the ball was there. There was nothing behind the little stick figure there that would have, would have made me think, oh, well, that's why, because there's
nothing there that would have triggered like a false response for you.
Right, which I've had at another location. It was a floor fan. So you got the pole, and then you got the big fan, and every single time I panned to that area, it tried to draw a person.
Yep.
So, I mean, that you can obviously debunk. But in that case with the child, it looked like a child, and there was nothing behind it. And it looked like it was trying to kick that ball.
That ball would have moved. That would have been cool.
Oh my God.
Oh, you know what's a real...
I get 1 million views.
Right, exactly. You know what's a real kick in the ass. About like 6, 7, probably even more than that, probably almost 10 years ago now. Ocean State Paranormal, my paranormal group, were investigating the Pain House. We had booked a night. We were going to do a night at the Pain House when Rise Up used to run it. Now it's Maggie Florio, her and her team run it. But we did a night there, and Joe Chin came along, and he was going to investigate with us. And Joe Chin he's of Ghost Hunters, Brendan, and he did Ghost Hunters International. Great guy, awesome guy, wicked down to earth. I was working at I work in human services. I work in mental health care. So I got stuck in that evening, and I had to work all night. So by the time I got out of work, it was like midnight. So by the time I get down to Coventry from Gloucester, it'd be like everything's over. So they had something happen in the attic where they were seeing like glowing lights in Catherine's, like over Catherine's eyes. Joe Britland and Joe Chin saw it. And then they were downstairs. There was a ball on the floor. You were talking about that little girl earlier, and they were calling her by name,
Sarah.
And they asked Ken DaCosta asked her to kick the ball, and the ball started moving back and forth. It was rolling on the floor.
Wow.
On command, and I wasn't there for it. What an ass kicker.
I was at another location in Western Mass in the Berkshires, and called Ventford Hall, and I placed a ball in the hallway because the people that work there says that they can hear the laughter of children like they're running up and down the hall playing. Yeah. And so I said, well, let me put this ball here, and I'll set up a camera while I go somewhere else, like a static camera, and let it try to capture something. Well, before I turned the camera on, and I didn't even think about it. They called me, Rick, quick, get down here with your camera. We got something going on. I went running down there. We're down there for 20 minutes. Yeah, we were catching action there, mostly with the flashlights and, maybe a K2 meter here and there.
Mm-hmm.
When we came back, that ball was 25 feet down the hall.
Wow.
And I went
that
to
would
the
have been
camera,
so cool.
and the camera, I forgot to turn it on.
Oh,
Yes. I tell people the story, and of course, the people that I was with, they said, Rick, we'll vouch for you. I said, it's not the same. It's not the same.
No, unfortunately, it's not because, like we said before, everybody's going to try to deny it anyway. So word of mouth isn't going to go very far with people.
No,
we were at Fort Adams about a year and a half ago. Myself, Joe Britland, who he's the co-host of the mid card with Bams on Friday night. He's a member of my group. And Charles, we were out there with Maggie Florio from I can't remember the name of her.
Yeah,
team.
whatever.
They rented Fort Adams. Great location. We were by ourselves. We were all. Have you ever been to Fort Adams, Rick?
Is that where there's an underground tunnel?
It is, right. We were in that area.
I've been there.
We're in the tunnels. I kept hearing a man's voice. I got a man's voice faintly. We come out of the tunnels and we're doing EVP session. We weren't getting anything. Joe was fiddling with this camera. We were walking out and Charles is walking out with us. And Charles is like, wait, I've got my recorder. So he goes back and gets his recorder. We're outside the crown, what they call the crown. So it's all this, It's like 5-6 tunnels come together in one room. Charles comes back. He's like, hey, who's the closest one to us? And I radio on the mic. I'm like, is anybody around the crown area? They're like, we're like, there was somebody in the bowling alley, but that was like a couple hundred yards out. This is the biggest fort in North America. This is a couple hundred yards that way. There was nobody in the area. There's one guy that let us in. Forgot his name. I'm sorry. And he was riding around on a golf cart, but he wasn't anywhere near us. So there was nobody around. So we went back in. Joe turned his camera on. I'm like, hello, spirit. We're like, hello. And there's a man's voice. We heard it. I have it on my recorder, and Joe has it on his camera. Hello. Oh, my God. So we're talking for a while. Then we leave, and as we're walking out, we're in the grass area, and we can hear another man's voice. And it's talking back and forth to us. Joe didn't have his camera on for that. We didn't catch for that. But I have no explanation for that. When that kind of crazy stuff happens, you don't always
How do they do it? They don't have a human form.
Like
how do they do it?
That clear male voice, like it's coming out of me. But there's no body there, right? There's no larynx, there's no cells, there's nothing.
Yep.
Just energy. I don't know. I think it's energy.
Location in East Hartford, Connecticut, where the curator said he wouldn't go down into the basement where he told us to check out, and for his own reasons. And there was a couple of psychic ladies who had been there previously, and they came in contact with something that scared them so much they ran up the stairs, ran out the front door, ran to the parking lot. That guy didn't find out what happened until the next day when they called. So I said, I got to check that out. What happened? And they came in contact with somebody. So I went down. I had my spirit box running. I was filming it, and I had a voice recorder right next to the spirit box. And so I said, if there are spirits down here, did you scare off those two psychic medium ladies here? What, if you did, why would you do such a thing? Mm-hmm. And you can very clearly hear for fun. And it was a teenage boy's voice. I took that recording to work. I work for a school system, and I was telling the story, and one of the guys said, "Oh, baloney! Give me that. Give me the recorder." He jumped up from his desk. He was able to clean out some of the static and stuff. He's like, "Oh my God! Don't bring that stuff here ever again." And you can clearly hear, and it's in a teenage boy's voice. It's not some spooky voice, and it's clearly said for fun. Right. And I've been at another location doing the flashlights. This was up in New Hampshire near Lake Winnipesaukee. And it was the first time I ever saw the flashlight session being demonstrated to me, which I thought was absolutely thrilling. I thought that was just made for TV. And how could you prove it? So I had asked the spirit. They believed that there was a male spirit there, and I had asked, uh, "Have you seen the light? Have you actually seen the light when you passed?" And that there was a very deep voice that answered, "Yes."
Hmm.
It was as clear as could be. It
Yep.
wasn't any of us. We were
Yep.
all listening to the spirit box. But again, if you're going to use a spirit box, make sure you got a recorder there, because it may be something
Yeah.
you don't hear at the moment, but when you play it back, like in that instance, that's all he said was yes. And it's like, oh my God, that's confirmation.
Right.
And how do they do that? They don't have a physical body. How does that work?
Right. There's nothing there.
And I also asked, how many of us are here right now trying to communicate with you?
Yep.
And it answered, I think it was 5 of us there. I don't recall exactly. I didn't record it, but I had asked. And there were 5 of us there. And it had said 5, but I didn't. Again, sometimes you're just chatting in between
Yeah,
filming, and it's one of those things that you're going to miss it. And you can talk to each other about it and say, yeah, wasn't that wild? But it's not something you can really share and have proof that it actually happened.
Right.
People
Right.
want
You just got
to
to
see proof.
experience it.
They
Yeah,
want to see
exactly.
proof.
Right. We had an experience last summer. We were investigating at a museum that I have like full range access to. We've investigated there hundreds of times. It's amazing activity. The activity's gotten better since one of their members, who was a good friend of ours, passed away during COVID. He died, and so we went in there primarily focusing on that person. And he had a lot of experiences while he worked there, and he was always open. He's always with us on investigation, so he was always open to that kind of stuff. So immediately, there was a responses via the pendulum. My aunt Dale, she was doing a pendulum session, and like again, I was skeptical at first, but she's not moving her hand at all. This thing is spinning, like hitting these letters on a grid. So it spells out my name. It spells out Charles's name. It gives us specific messages. It spells out Joe's name, Joe. You have a message for Joe, Boy. You calling Joe a boy? And then somebody asks, "Is Joe, who's just married, is maybe he's having a baby boy soon?" Yes. Just like, I mean, you can't. And sure enough, Joe's wife is now pregnant. We're learning the sex. I think they're learning next couple months or so. So I don't know if it's a boy. It might have been. I don't know. It's just, but it's something. It's an experience that happened. When you tell it to other people, it's not as great. But I mean, it's not as like TV worthy. But
Right.
still, it's something cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
no,
So
you're absolutely right.
absolutely. I do it for myself. I really do it for myself. I'm not here. I don't. My YouTube channel by no means is going to be monetized. It's just that I like to review. I like to go back. I get talking to people. Hey, check out my channel. This is what happened. You know what? If they don't believe it, it doesn't hurt me at all, because I'm not
Right.
trying to make a living off of it. That's
Right,
just
exactly.
a record of what I captured. I'm not going to argue with anybody. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. And I think a lot of things could be debunked. I mean, let's face it, you can alter a video to
Yeah,
show a ghost or an apparition. That's all
Right.
CGI. So, don't even
Right.
go there. I'm not
Right.
going to fight with
Speaking of
people like that. But
speaking of your stuff. Oh, sorry. Go
people
ahead.
who are
I'm
into
sorry.
it, and especially people who are really into it and are interested in it, or people who share the moment with me, can go in there and relive that experience. And that's why I do it.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
want to be there to
Like,
experience it myself.
nice. I'd like to share another one of your moments, Rick, if I could,
Mhm.
before we finish up here tonight. It's the from the Isaac Morse House REM pod session. Here we
Go
go.
crazy. Get our attention, please. Thank you. All right, make all those lights light up, please. You can do it if you touch that antenna.
It's going crazy. Something's setting this thing off.
It doesn't. You can have the
Look,
K2 right next to it.
look. What is causing that?
Something is touching that.
Look at that is red. Noah, come see. This is as red as it
Yeah, but
gets.
see, mine's doing the same thing. Like, mine isn't doing anything like yours isn't either, right? No. Mine either.
Look.
But the K2 is.
Noah,
Right.
look.
I see.
It's as red as it gets.
All right.
It doesn't get any redder.
Yeah. He's going crazy.
Mine's
So
all.
put yours in. Hang on.
Look at that.
It's still going. This one is. All right. Can you make that green light up again, please? Let me see. What's yours reading?
Oh, no.
So yours lighting up? All right. Thank
Right,
you.
right to the red.
Oh.
5, 8,
Mine.
9, 10, 11, 12.
All right. Can you make all the lights light up, please? Like this. If you touch. Actually, that should make it light up. Yeah. You could do that too. That was me.
Mine's staying red.
Mine's on green.
Mine hasn't gone
I
down
scared it
1
up.
degree. It's all the way. You guys see that? Mine doesn't go any higher though.
This is it.
Yep, there it goes. All right, make them all light up, please. Let's have a party.
I heard that.
I heard that.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
That was a bang.
You do another bang?
Can you stop my K2 meter and show me that you're controlling it?
This takes a lot of energy.
This is at 19.
Oh no, it's not even. It's not that because I'm all the way to the red and I'm away from.
Thank you.
the
Can you make that green light up next to the red again, please? Oh,
Well,
look at
now
this
yours
thing.
is going cray cray. Yeah, yours is
Oh,
all
mine's
over.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Al, is that you? Is it? It's not the phone. Wait a minute. Where's your phone?
You're here. But your phone's. You're way over there. Not my phone.
Yeah, you're right. It's not your phone. I'm trying to eliminate variables. I'm
Yeah.
being a jerk.
No. I understand that.
See how far away I am, and I'm still getting all the way to the red. It's getting weaker, but I'm getting red.
All right, you clearly got our attention. We just want to figure out who we're speaking with. Is it you, Alan? Can you light up the green
Yes.
light to let me know it's you? It's you. Yeah, it's you. Okay.
I think it's.
It's Alan.
You think it's Alan?
It's Alan.
That's cool. What had happened prior to that was the guy that mentioned the name Alan. He works there, and so they got that name from all their previous investigations. But it was they were guessing that Alan liked Michael Jackson music. So what somebody had done was they pulled up their phone and they found Michael Jackson music. Now that wasn't, I didn't capture that part of the conversation before all the activity, but that's what keyed it off. That really got it going. And then of course everybody was like overcome with like, oh my God. And I want my device to pick that up. You know, the thing is, I never have actually taken a K2 meter and put it next to a REM pod that's being activated. Could it be the REM pod that generates a force field, which is adjustable? Right. I lost my directions to the REM pod. That was the round cylinder there, where he said touch the antenna. That sends out a force field for a certain distance. If you want it to where they have to touch it, you know that they're in much closer. But there are adjustments that can be made.
And it's indicated by the lights that go off, right?
Huh?
It's indicated by the lights that go off how close they are.
Yes, the strength. The strength, yes. I think green it's in the area, but that could also be one of those settings that I just turned the thing on.
Yep.
I've never adjusted it, but in the years past, since then, I've seen it on the YouTube and on the ghost shows, and there are adjustments you can make for the sensitivity.
Yeah.
But again, maybe I can find it somewhere and download the instructions. But everybody was going crazy.
I see it used where they ask, like, people will put it in the middle of a room, a very large room, and sit on odd ends of the room, and they'll ask for the spirit to interact with the REM pod. The REM pod goes off, and then it asks for it to stop, and it stops. Then they ask for different color lights, and the spirit will light up different color lights, or whatever is lighting up this thing. I can't 100% sure say it's a spirit, but it's an interesting form of maybe communication. I don't know.
At the Sylvanus Brown house at Slater Mill.
Yes.
That happened. I was there with Tim Weisberg, and someone asked for the spirit to turn on a particular color, and it did.
Wow.
Now, how do they know that? I didn't even know that because I lost the instructions. How did they know that?
That's
Right.
so funny. So funny.
Right. So I mean, is it all about these lights and buzzing sounds and gadgets that we see on TV?
That's what
Or is-
catches people's attention. That's
Right.
that's what they're looking for on the ghost shows. The real ghost shows. Um, all the glitz and glamour, I guess. Of
Right.
it.
For me, EVPs have been my
Oh,
my
EVP,
gold
and
over
for
the
me,
years.
getting back to basics, things that
Right.
can't be manipulated. Like,
Right.
for all we know, the lady that had the K2 there that was pegging the whole time, she may have had her cell phone on
Right.
and didn't put it in airplane mode.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
And you can't force people to do it. The last one I went to, I won't say where, it was in New Jersey. I think I told you, buddy, about it. And they had their own agenda, the person running it. They wanted to sell their products. They were trying to recruit people to join. And I forgot what my point was going to be. I get ahead of myself.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
That's all right.
Oh, it's all good. Not a
No
big deal.
worries. No worries. We got another one here from you, Rick. It's more, for me as an investigator, it's one of the most iconic places in the New England area to investigate, only because of the history that's wrapped around it. And I spent a good amount of my lifetime up around that area. My in-laws were from the northern New Hampshire region, so I spent a lot of time. We often drove 302 and drove right by the Mount Washington on a very regular basis.
Oh, yes.
So
Can
I'm
I
gonna play
say,
some
can
bands.
I say
It's
something?
6. Yeah, go ahead.
That's the owner's room that we're in, 314.
Right, the
The man who
princess
built
room.
the hotel for his family.
He built it for his family. He died. He left this woman. He built it for the economic fair, I think, in the turn of the 20th century. It's a beautiful right in the backdrop of Mount Washington. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
Gorgeous old hotel.
Yep.
You think old horror movies. This place comes to mind just because I don't know, it's one of those kind of hotels. I guess it's gorgeous. But 314 is renowned. It was her room. People have seen her in the room, the princess room. And 314 is the iconic haunted room at the Mount Washington. So, Bams, before we get started, there's a 6:14 minute. You want me to? Do you want to stop it if you have questions as you go, or?
Yeah, why don't we stop it halfway and we'll talk about it, and then we'll continue on
right.
after that.
All right,
That way,
we'll
it's not
stop
just
it
one
for a
long
minute.
video.
Sounds good. All right, here we go. Mount Washington, hopefully New Hampshire.
another strange thing had happened with that. I lost audio for half of the video. So people were asking questions. I was horrified when I finally reviewed it at home. It's like,
Right.
I know people were asking questions. And what you were seeing was mainly my flashlight and the cat. There were two cat balls there. One was almost dead, and the other one. So they were asking questions, and that's why we were getting those reactions.
Okay, that was gonna be my question too.
Yeah. And then magically, probably halfway through the video, I got the audio back. I didn't do anything. I just kept filming, and just one of those things. I can't say it was paranormal.
Right.
I mean, things happen. Kind of took a little bit away from it. That's why, I'm here to explain it.
Yeah, shit happens. So you have 2 videos left here that well, you have a few more, but I mean,
Well, we still have that second half of that one, don't we?
oh yeah, I don't know if it will
It'll be the same. It'll be the same thing, but you'll just hear people. Someone has an SLS off to the right, off camera, so they'll be discussing it. Oh, I can see him, but they weren't even filming it. They didn't know how to film it.
I don't know if I can start it mid through. I'll see what I can do. Let's see.
All right,
There we go. Yeah, so I can't fast forward. I'm sorry.
No. So what you're seeing there, that is definitely an intelligent haunting, because it is actually interacting with everybody there. I mean, there must have been 9 people in the room. So people were shooting out questions, and the light was going on, the cat balls. Later on, you'd hear the REM pod sounding off. But it's all the same thing. But that was, like I said, the owner. So yeah, that room is very haunted. So
that whole place
if you're ever to go there, our host actually rented the room for herself and then shared it with everybody.
Nice. That's I have my in-laws who used to live up there. He was a contractor, and he did some work up in the towers. He would always report smelling cigar smoke, but there's never anybody up there when he's doing his work. He's and then he'd get creeped out, and he's a very grounded individual, but he was never settled being up in the tower at the Mount Washington. Maybe something about it. Maybe spirits up there. I don't know. So all right. So Rick, we have the Thomas Bernard gravesite and the horse farm swing. Which one would you like to go next?
The gravesite, did you say?
Yes.
I was on the gravesite. The Thomas Barnard.
Yes.
He was in the witch trials. He was part of the witch trials. And
nice.
again, we were with Tim. So I had never gone. Oh yeah, I've never been tried it at a cemetery, and this is what we got.
All right, this is a 6-minute video, so we'll break.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can't break it.
Just play it through. Play it through.
There we go.
Or you cut. Thomas, could you do that again, please?
Oh, look at the K2. It looked like it just went up a couple. See? Is there more than one light?
Yeah, it looks like there is.
See? It's lighting up, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is blurry again. Or is that not Thomas who turned that? Whoever that was, could you please turn the light on again? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're not Thomas.
Are you the person next to Thomas? That K2 is lighting up.
Are you the person making the K2 light up?
Why is this not? Put it so far away with such bad eyes, but.
I don't understand why this won't focus.
Are you a female?
Whoa.
Thank you.
Whoa.
It's weird that like lit up and then the church bells go off.
Right.
Oh.
You notice how dim it is? It's getting
Yeah.
dimmer.
Yeah.
Like the power's being drained out of it. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
And now it's clear. Now this just went into focus. So there's something here. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Are you older than 25?
Are you a fortune teller?
Could you make that go brighter, please? Just get closer to it. Get real close. Closer. Touch
It
it.
looks like that K2 is getting dimmer.
Well, it'd be nice if I didn't have to keep messaging the newsroom. I could pay attention.
Thank you. Very good.
Are you one of the ones from the unmarked graves?
Do you know where the unmarked graves are?
That's a car or something.
Well, this is a first for me. I've never gotten anything in a cemetery.
Right?
I mean, that's pretty cool. Thank you, by the way, for chatting with us.
That's crazy. It's sharp now. It wasn't in focus.
The color is staying solid. I don't think it's dimming.
It looks dim from here. It doesn't look as bright from here.
Can you tap the device
Green
next
will
to the
power
flash?
down as it tries to light up the other colors.
Okay.
Ooh.
That is a bright flashlight.
Thank you. Can you tap that device right next to it? It will also light up. What's that called?
The millimeter. If you touch the wand, the metal wand, or we call it an antenna, if you could touch that, you can make the lights turn different colors.
I am freezing right now.
Are you happy that we are visiting? If you are, turn the light on, please. Thank you.
Is there someone around me or is it just cold?
Jay, if you kill that light, it'll be easier to see.
This one?
Yeah.
Are you one of the accused?
See? See the light blink just there. It just blinked when you said one of the accused.
Were you executed for the crime? My nose is cold.
Were you hung?
Hanged, Rick.
Hanged?
Thank you. I didn't want to say it.
I mean, if you ask him if he was hung, he's gonna lie. So, of course I was.
Hell yeah, man.
Were you
All the
hanged?
ladies came to the Thomas Barnard house.
Sorry.
Probably not the best thing to be
If
saying.
you were hanged, could you light the light up as bright as it goes?
I got 99 problems, but a witch ain't one.
I feel like for someone who was a minister, it's probably not the best jokes to be making.
I agrees with you, Liz.
All right, sorry.
Are you buried out in the field?
I heard that. And there's a rabbit running around.
Thank you.
These will be soon chasing.
Now, there's
That
an
was cool,
example of no
Wow.
activity on the other device. All right. Had I not
Right.
had that flashlight, that would have been a total bust. That whole session would have been erased because
Ugh.
that's why you gotta. I mean, I have tons of stuff, but I go with the old reliable stuff. And that's the flashlight and the cat ball.
Oh, of course.
I'd like to know who figured out how to use the cat ball. Where did that start? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was designed for cats.
Right.
Who decided to use that for paranormal investigations?
Right.
The last few years, it's just somebody. Somebody came out and somebody suggested it to me, and I kind of giggled at them at first, and then we used it on an investigation. I'm like, oh wow! I'm like, and I had like 5 of them set up in this restaurant that had stuff like flying off the countertops, and I'm like, make one of the cat balls light up, and one of the cat balls lit up on command.
Yes.
On a table like far from where we were standing and sitting, and there wasn't
Right.
wasn't a lot of activity. It wasn't a lot of road activity. So I don't know. It's just cool. It's just cool.
So when you asked it the question, it was part of the Salem witch trials, and he was hanged.
No, I don't think he was hung.
Does it look like it was?
No, he was a reverend.
He wasn't hung, as Tim said. He may have been well hung, but
he was probably one of the judges. He was
Yes.
a reverend.
Yes.
He was part of the church who was trying and executing.
That's exactly who he was. Yep.
So
Yep.
he was probably torturing people to death slowly every day. Whatever.
Well, I mean, it's not whatever, but yeah.
Yeah,
What an awful
It's just-
time, I mean, there was no
Yeah.
way, if you didn't drown when they dunked you, you were not a witch. Or if you did drown, that proved that you weren't a witch.
Right.
Well,
When
now
you
you're
died.
dead either way. So
Right. Now you're just killing people just to kill people.
Right. They pressed people to death. They Giles Corey. They put heavy rocks on him until he basically his whole body gave loose and broke. He was just crushed to death.
Yeah.
Slowly over 2 days. That's pretty awful.
Well, I mean,
Pretty
they would have
terrible.
a field day, and nowadays with all these people, they'd be
Oh
like,
my
"That's-
God, yeah.
That's
Oh,
a
for
witch.
sure.
That's a witch, and that's a witch. I'd probably be a
Yeah.
witch because of all the tattoos.
Yeah, for sure.
They'd be like, "That's it."
I went to a cemetery a number of years ago. It's here in Rhode Island. It's really renowned to be haunted. It's so renowned because there's a lot of vandalism and stuff. And so we went there a bunch of times, and I got a lot of interesting EVPs, a lot of interesting photos. And then I went with somebody
name of
else,
the
and
cemetery?
it's called Elder Blue Cemetery. It's in Cumberland, Rhode Island. It's on Elder Blue Meeting House Road. There used to be a large church or meeting house behind it. It was the most conservative Christian denomination here in Rhode Island at the time. And they used to go to church for like 6 hours on Sunday, and then have picnics in the cemetery, families and stuff. And there's generations of all these people who were members of the church that are the church is no more because it burned down years ago. But the cemetery is pretty active. So I went there to debunk something. The guy I was videoing with took a video of me, and there's allegedly a man in a gray suit that is seen out in front of the place, and he guards, I guess. That's one of the allegations. So I was moving, he was moving with the camera, and there's a gray blurb behind me at the bottom. It's on a hill, so there's a gray blurb. So I went back there. I was at Alba Fall, Brendan. It was 10:30 in the morning. It was a Sunday morning. The 1-to-1 got cut, so I got cut. I got sent home. I'm like, what am I gonna do at 10:30 in the morning? I'm like, let me go to It was March, right? Let me go to Blue. I'm like, I wanna debunk this. I swear this was something else. So I went exactly where he was standing, where I was standing. I'm looking. I'm like, damn, it's that tree. It's just the way you. And I'm using my camera. I'm like, the way I'm moving. I'm like, that was the tree that down there. I'm like, it wasn't a man in a gray suit. So I had been to the cemetery a number of times. I knew it was a conservative Christian cemetery. I thanked the people who were there for allowing me to be there, and I said the Our Father. I thought it was a nice gesture. When I finished, I heard a voice of a woman behind me say hello, and then she started to say something else, and there was a little kid laughing. And I swear to this day, on everything I love, I would turn around and see a woman and a child behind me, and there was nobody there. There was nobody in the whole cemetery. You could see through the woods. There's houses about a quarter of a mile down the road. There's nobody on the street. I'm like, all right, thanks for that. And
Yeah,
I
there you
was
go.
good. I was terrified. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm out of here. Thank you. It's all about those experiences, though. You're not always, you don't always get them when you're looking for them. I mean, I was looking to debunk something, and holy shit, I had an incredible experience. So it's not always when you're looking for it,
Right.
it comes through. So it's
Yep.
You don't get to choose when they show up. They just show
Right.
up.
it's just there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not paid to put on a show.
Oh,
You
for
know?
sure. For sure.
Right. Right.
That's why these shows, they have these live things on Halloween, or they used to, and like nothing really happens, or then maybe something does happen, or maybe you have to, like, kind of like fake something happening, because you can't really do this shit live, because it's not that
Yeah.
exciting all the time.
Nothing's
That's
guaranteed.
risky.
In this.
That's risky
But
doing something
it's
live
tough.
like that.
It is. It's tough. It's
If you're
tough.
trying to promote something, that's not the time to do it.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Buddy, did you
Oh,
say you had another video?
I do. Yeah, I have one more. Horse farm swing flashlight session. Here we go.
Do you like it when we come here and stay with you and visit with you? Do you like it when people come to say hi? You do? Are you a prankster?
George, I'm just going to put the stand. There's a stand on the back of this so that we can see it better. I'm just going to pull it out like that. Oops. Whoa. Wow, thank you.
That was awesome. And I wasn't recording that, George.
Yeah.
That was
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you do it one more time, George, please? Yes, Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I'm so happy. That's beautiful. Great. That's really nice. George, good job.
Do you want to flirt with Allison?
If you do, turn the light on, the torch again.
You like Allison to come closer? Yeah, okay. Thank you, George.
Hi, George.
Here's Allison. You want to
Hi,
say hi
George.
to Allison? Just light the light. Let the light go on. That'll be saying hi.
I was just thinking that.
Wow.
That's funny. Do you play the harmonica, George?
George, if you light the flashlight, that will take that as a yes.
Put the flashlight on it, yes. Okay? Do you play the harmonica, George? Thank you, George. You want to push Allison on the swing? By the way, that's Allison. The one you encouraged to come out with.
Yeah.
Could you turn the torch on again to let us know you're still here? Your torch is still long. Thank you.
George. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the
Ah, wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for the response, George. Yeah, you are great.
Wow.
Now you're
Good
just
job.
flirting with us.
Good job.
This is wild.
Yeah.
This is so crazy. No.
No, okay.
But I'm always thrilled whenever something as simple as the flashlight.
Yeah, that's
It just I never get used to it. It's just so thrilling.
well. Okay.
George.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Very happy. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good job.
feeling raindrops, George. It might start to rain. We'll have to go in. Yeah. But thank you for talking with us.
I love this swing. This is neat.
Thank you. Thank you for talking with us, George. George, we have to go in out of the rain, I guess.
Yeah, we don't want to get hit by lightning.
You want to come in with us? Yes, you can come in with us. You can come in with us, George. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go back
We're
in
gonna
the
go
barn.
now.
We'll see you inside.
You don't want to get wet.
Thank you. We're gonna go
Okay, I'm gonna gather these up. Please follow us. Please join us.
Yeah, we're going in, but you can come.
Could you turn off the light, please?
Yeah, we have a light we can use. You don't need to leave that on for us.
We can find a way.
You can turn it off. Please.
Thank you.
I love that it happens on command. I love that it responds on command. That's
Now, where did you get the name George from?
They believe that's the spirit of a boy that was on the farm there. That was a horse farm in I think it's East Kingston, Rhode Island.
Oh,
that's what it looked like. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, when it's because the.
But again, we would have been out there if I didn't have the flashlight. Nothing would have happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's something I gotta start trying, man. I see people. I see you doing it. I see that's incredible, like validation right there. Honestly,
yeah.
If it was electrical, it would be happening all the time. And it happens with that coincidence. It's just like it's interesting.
There was a scientist that could debunk that.
Okay.
And he said that it's the difference between heat and cold, expansion and contraction, that makes the battery move closer to the base of the bulb and then away from the base. Temperatures don't change that quickly.
Right.
You can't tell me that's his whole reasoning for debunking it. He said, nope, it's the environmental temperature, not on command, and
not like that.
It's not that abrupt. That all of a sudden there's heat coming through, or now there's an air conditioner blowing on it. I mean, what the heck?
Right. Yeah. They'll give you every excuse in the book, just to say it's not real.
But when I turn that on, if I try, I go to turn it off, I can't make it flicker. So to me, it's their energy getting either close enough to it or not close enough to it. Sometimes I tell them to totally surround the torch or the flashlight with your energy. And usually when I want them to turn it off, I just move away from it. Come over near me. And it goes off. That can't be the temperature. I'm sorry.
Right. That's just other people looking for an excuse to debunk it.
And
you're right. And experiment with it. Do it all the time.
There's a guy on YouTube that's trying to bash ghost hunters and Jason Hawes and the whole crew. Don't even listen to the guy. I mean, what are you trying to do? He's such an expert that he can prove that ghosts don't exist.
Right. Bring it. Show me.
Bring it.
Show me. Right. Show me.
They rely on people just believing the lack of foundation rather than, what I mean? Like, oh, well, you can't prove that it's them. All right, well, prove it's not.
Granted, there are plenty of things that are scapegoated for spirits or to spirits. A lot of people say, oh my God, I have a ghost in my home. A lot of the time, no, you don't. And it's easily explained. So a lot of the time there are people who are like almost sensitive to it, almost want it to be a ghost, want it to be that couple that's on the TV show where the ghost hunters come to their house. Right. I mean, I've had clients like that before. While the house was haunted, something was there. It wasn't as they wanted something like demonic. They wanted like next level, obviously.
Right.
And that just wasn't the case. It's that allure to attention, I guess, is what that is. I don't know. But it's been great talking to you, Rick.
Thank you.
I know you wanted to wrap up by about 9:30. Bams, you got anything else you wanna ask?
No, it's been great talking to you, Rick. I look forward to it.
you.
Hopefully we can have you on again sometime. It'd be great to talk to you again.
Thanks.
Rick, I
enjoy sharing the evidence.
Yeah, we enjoy seeing it and talking to everybody. So what we do is like we have a variation of people that come on. Like I said before, Buddy does a great job of programming and getting people on the show from different aspects, whether it be mediums or they use different devices and demonologists and all sorts of things. And we're just trying to share everybody else's experience with the world because we find it fascinating, and we're trying to share it and learn more in the process of doing that, and talk to interesting people, because these conversations are fun to have for us, and for our listeners. We get a lot of good feedback, and it's one of those things that we can never get enough of.
Me neither. I can't get enough of this stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. I can't wait to do it again. Speaking of doing it again, Rick, this summer we had him on the show about 2-3 weeks ago, Don Cristofaro from the USS Salem. I know you sent me some stuff from the Salem. We'll have to play it the next time you're on. But I'm planning a trip out there probably this summer, probably like July or August. If you're not doing anything, if you're in the area, we get a little bit of a discount. I'm going to run his banner throughout the summer. We get a little discount. So if you're interested,
you always get something there. There's always something.
Yeah, right. I love the Salem, dude. I love it. I love the history. I love I had some like incredible experiences there. And I feel like we didn't even touch the whole ship. It was just so many areas that I want to get to next time. I want to revisit this time. So yeah, if you're around, if you don't do anything, we'll have to hook up.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Bams, it's been a great night. Stay tuned, guys. We have Bams. You're gonna see Bams' face again on Friday with Joey Wrestling. If you will.
I apologize for this week. I ran into a few issues that prevented us from doing a show, but we will have the show on this Friday.
Sometimes you get blindsided by a table, by a chair in the back of the head. You don't see it coming.
It was a rough week. It was
Shit
a rough
happens,
week.
dude. Shit happens. People get it.
We'll
Tune
be
in
back
this Friday. They're going to be wrestling out in the squared circle. This weekend, myself and the other two dudes, the three dudes, are going to be traveling to Smug Brewery in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. We're going to film Joey Wrestling is going to join us on Saturday and film our show. And we'll put it together, probably put it out for June. We'll do it a monthly series. So this Smug Brewing. Dude, we did Crooked Current last month. It was amazing. Such a great personality. This woman was Nicole. Smallest brewery in the state, biggest personality. Smallest brewery in the state, biggest personality. Awesome flavors of beers. Great project we're doing. I'm having a good time with it. And Joe is like amazing. I'm like, dude, can you film my show? He's like, yeah. So I'm expecting him to bring like his Apple, his phone, and maybe like one of the GoPros that he uses for ghost stories. And he comes with 5-6 different cameras. He comes with different microphones. He calls me this week. He's like, dude, I got a soundboard. I got new microphones. I'm like, Jesus. So Joe's going all out, and it's really up in the production value of the show. We have special thanks to my friend Jason LaRose. We have his music. It's a nice blues riff rolling us in. It's just a good time drinking beers, doing what I enjoy, loving the craft. So stay tuned to A Van Down by the Riv for all of our great podcasting opportunities. And for Rick Callahan, for Bams the Goat, this is Buddy Thayer, and this has been The Ghost and the Goat with Rick Callahan.
Thanks again, Rick. It was a great talking to you.